Welcome into Lakewood High School, another exciting day here at the corner of Bunsen Franklin. Hello, everybody. Grant Graves, Mike Harper with you, and Danny Arth behind the camera once again. Well, a fantastic matchup we have today as we kick off GLC East competition between the Parma Redmen and the Lakewood Rangers. Lakewood coming off a scrappy loss to Lutheran East. There are no moral victories, but you certainly saw a good effort out of Lakewood bouncing back against Rocky River, and Parma coming in off a big win against Lincoln West. Two teams that had pretty good games last year. Lakewood going 2-0 against Parma last year. Should be a good one as we start the 2021 GLC conference schedule.
Actually, Grant, they played them 3 times last year.
That's right.
The first time ever a
GLC
tournament.
Yes.
So, yeah, they met 3 times.
That's right. Well, we're excited to bring you the action today on the Lakewood Sports Channel, presented by First Federal of Lakewood, Newcastle Roofing, and Harrington Moving. And Coach Harper, we saw a good game against Lutheran East, and that game was punctuated by 2 big Delaney Garcia threes towards the end of the fourth quarter that got the Lakewood Rangers within 3. But all night, Lakewood would get close. Lutheran East would pull away with their speed and some of their pressure. It'll be a different game facing this Parma team tonight. What are your keys to the game for the Rangers to pull out a victory?
Well, just that. You know, last game we saw Lutheran East, man. Lutheran East had the decided speed advantage. I think it's a total different game this time. I think Lakewood's going to have the decided speed advantage, and it's going to be interesting to see if Coach Work will extend some pressure here, make it a little chaotic out there, and make it a trap meet, because if she does, I think that bodes in Lakewood's favor. And then I think the second key is, man, I am looking for Molly Hendrickson. You know, last year she shot the lights out. We were here, I think, in the Holy Name game. She had 6 threes. And I think she hasn't shot the ball quite like she'd like to this year. But, you know, she's a senior now. This is a good game for her to get those good looks, and I'm looking for her to get on track tonight.
Certainly should be a good one between Parma and Lakewood. We will have the starting lineups and the national anthem coming up here on the Lakewood Sports Channel. Now we will take a look at the starting lineups brought to you by First Federal of Lakewood. On the Parma Redmen side, coached by head coach Chuck Caldwell, we got Juliana Kern, Abby Basinger, Tatiana DiNardo, Alyssa Levy, Katie Yeager, rounding out the starting 5. And for your Rangers, coached by Julie Work, you have guard Sam Hudak, Molly Hendrickson, Molly Pilgrim, Ava Carroll, and Delaney Garcia rounding out the starting 5. First start of the year for Delaney Garcia. As we go now to the national anthem here at Lakewood High School. Well, I believe they tried out a few different national anthems there before landing on the right one, but despite the technical difficulties, we are all set to bring you the starting lineups here on the Lakewood Sports Channel. And like we said, Mike, it was just a few plays gone awry for the Rangers last game, but they're showing improvement. And, facing Lutheran East and Rocky River back-to-back, that's a lot of pressure for a team to face. It doesn't matter how experienced your ball handlers are. It should be a little different of a task against Parma. It's going to be one on the block. It's going to be one in the trenches, as they say. It should present a different challenge for the Rangers.
Oh, for sure. And speaking of ball handling, there's no Sydney Hampton today. Sydney Hampton is the point guard on this team. She kind of gets them in what they want to run, and she brings really a lot of stability on defense too. So it's going to be interesting to see now with her out, Delaney Garcia in, who brings a nice skill set to the lineup, but it's going to be a little different.
As a coach, your point guard not available for you, it changes a whole lot. In your opinion, does that change the fact that we might see more up-tempo, less set plays, or do you think the coach takes a little more control over the offense in the sense that there's not the opportunity for that point guard to read and probe and do some of the things that a point guard like Cindy Hampton is capable of doing?
Well, I think, the thing, though, I think is fortunate about this team is Sam Hudak is very capable. She can run the offense. I think she can get them in what they need to. What's going to be really interesting is for the Redmen, how do they handle the pressure today, right? I mean, Coach Work is going to bring it. They are going to pressure them. And, with, a young squad, only one senior in the starting lineup, I think two in the rotation, it's going to be a learning outing for the Redmen.
Absolutely, and it will be a great experience here on the Lakewood Sports Channel today. Thanks for tuning in this afternoon. The Lakewood Sports Channel is brought to you by First Federal of Lakewood, Newcastle Roofing, and Harrington Moving. As we get set for tip-off here at Lakewood High School, it'll be Garcia and number 21 for the Parma Redmen, or number 23, excuse me, that's Alyssa Lavey out there going for the tip against Garcia. That one won by Carroll, and Lakewood will set up. It'll be Hendrickson with the ball handling duties there, and a quick turnover by the Rangers out of the gate here, and Parma will have our first possession of the game.
Yeah, just like we on cue, right? We talk about missing Sydney Hampton right there. There you see it.
As Parma works this one around, Parma and Lakewood both on the GLC East side. It'll be interesting to see how that side of the conference plays out this year before our GLC tournament at the end of the season. Nice take there by DiNardo. It looks like she was fouled, which caused her to take a few steps there. They're going to assess the foul before the travel, and Parma will have our first baseline out of bounds today of the game. We saw a few plays from Lutheran East that were unconventional from the baseline. We'll see if Parma can match that, throwing the ball off some of the Rangers who were facing the field of play. Nice steal there by Hudak, and that's what she's known for. She is always around the ball on defense. Solid take inside. That one just off the side rim, but there's Garcia right away, pulling down an offensive rebound and getting to the free throw line.
Yeah, the sophomore already showing her presence, right? That's what she does. You saw that in the Lutheran East game. She did a lot of good things off the ball, on the boards, getting rebounds and putbacks.
A really nice take and a good sign for Lakewood there if they can win that battle down low. The first free throw up and no good as we remain scoreless here at Lakewood High School. Hey friends, interested in sponsoring the Lakewood Sports Channel, head over to golakewood.org to support our student athletes and support the Lakewood Sports Channel. Garcia splits the pair, and here comes some pressure from Lakewood. A 2-2-1 press out there with Hudak at the top. Pilgrim running around. This is getting close to 10. Nice stand-up defense by Hendrickson, and right at about 9.5 do the Redmen finally get that one over.
There's Sam Hudak again flying around.
Really nice job for her to kind of just be able, not to freelance, right, but she has the ability to kind of read the defense, see where the next pass is going, and that's invaluable when you're trying to speed up another team.
Absolutely. Now, you're going to want to see Parma. Parma's got Lavey inside, right, Alyssa Lavey, and she's averaging, 17 points a game. I mean, they're really predicated a lot on getting the ball into her, and so it'll be interesting to see.
There's a layup there, no good, but a good look for the junior, who is averaging also 4 offensive rebounds per game. So it's not just enough to keep them off on the first attempt. You got to make sure you are boxing out. As Carroll underneath with a really nice take. And Lakewood First 2 buckets coming at the rim with a foul on Garcia, and now the layup converted by Carroll. Parma doing a nice job there. That ball is tipped, but they get it across once again. Garcia and DiNardo got tangled up on that one, and that ball is going to go back to the Rangers as Hudek will set up the offense. Nice take underneath by Henriksen, and they're going to say that ball was tipped out of bounds last by Henriksen, and Parma will regain possession. A couple of good wins for Lakewood last year against Parma. They really had to deal with some size that Parma had and some hot shooting from some of their seniors that they graduated. And, you know, Lakewood will be good for that, you know, being able to watch that film and kind of see some things that were working for you during those contests. It will be it'll pay off big time for Lakewood.
I talked to Coach Caldwell a little bit about life after Amaris De Jesus, right?
That's right.
I mean, you know, she's the last regular season game, she scored 23 in that game.
Right.
She scored 18 in the GLC conference tournament against Lakewood. And she did a little bit of everything for them.
Certainly. As Hudek knocks down the jumper and Lakewood jumps out to a 5-0 lead. And it's a tough challenge for a coach when you have to kind of go from a team that's relying on outside scoring, and now they're kind of relying on Levy down low to get some of their points. But they've done a nice job with a convincing win over Lincoln West. And a convincing layup goes in for number 4, Abby Basinger, the captain.
Yeah, Basinger, a sophomore captain at that.
Those are, you know, those are special players when a coach is able to give a captain's band to a sophomore.
We talked to Coach Caldwell about her, and he couldn't stop singing her praises. Said she's a good kid. Said she's dedicated to the program, and he said I couldn't do anything but give her the C. You know?
Sometimes you have to force the head coach's hand, and
that's
really
big time for a sophomore, though.
Really high honor for a sophomore, as Henriksen will check out. Jacqueline Hudek will check in. 4 rebounds for Jackie last game against Lutheran East. Nice job by Parma again, breaking the press, and they're going to try to set up some offense, it looks like.
So Jackie Hudek coming in the game is going to add another level of pressure.
Without a doubt, that is not a welcome sight for Parma because she is rested and ready to go. As a tie-up underneath, they're going to say that is a foul on the rebound. Garcia was fouled, and nice job to hang on to the ball. And Lakewood will take it underneath here on the Lakewood Sports Channel.
So we see Parma giving back a little pressure. Their own 2-2-1.
Their own 2-2-1 as I McCullough will check in for Garcia. McCullough had a really strong game against Lutheran East, you know, and she wasn't starting. She came off the bench and did a really nice job finding some tough buckets, 2 really nice scoop layups, 4 points for her against the Falcons.
Absolutely.
Handles the pressure nicely there. She finds Hudek. Hudek on a scoring tear this season. Carroll back to Hudek on the jumper. That one is good. And, folks, if Sam Hudek's going to heat up, this will be a long afternoon for the Redmen. 2 jumpers already go for the Rangers' leading scorer.
That's nice patience out of Parma right there, breaking the press.
They don't seem to be too out of sorts with the pressure.
They've had a couple turnovers. They had one where they threw the ball away, but for the most part, I think Coach Caldwell's team's done a nice job.
Well, with DiNardo coming out of the game now, it'll be interesting because she's done a nice job at the top of that press break there, kind of calming the offense down and getting them into a half-court set, and a sub for the Rangers. Annette Doran, who now has the ball in for the Rangers. Nice athletic catch by Hudek. Shot was blocked. She got her own rebound. Carroll is found at the top of the key, and that one off the back rim and in. Lakewood with a convincing scoring run here. A 9-2 run to open the game, and a deflection leading to a timeout for Parma. Number 13, Emily Parks, was able to keep that one away from the Rangers' pressure.
So proud of Ava Carroll's game, man. You see the evolution of things. She's able to knock down that jump shot at the foul line. That's real good stuff.
It was no hesitation there. It was a pressured situation for Sam Hudek. Swung it over to Doran, found Carroll, and Carroll with no hesitation. You can kind of see that everybody is getting involved for this Rangers offense, and it'll serve them well. 9 quick points here in the first quarter, and just limiting Parma to 2. It's been a good effort and a good showing from the Rangers, who came out a little slow against Lutheran East. This is a much more energetic start for the Rangers.
For sure. It'll be interesting to see if Parma tries to do, watching film on them, they did a few things with Levy trying to get the ball down into her here on cue.
Here we go, right out of the timeout.
You know.
Able to draw something up to get Levy a touchdown there, and that is going to be a recipe for success for the Redmen, who are 1-1 this season.
They played a lot more, mostly 4 out, 1 in, but we'll see from time to time some block-to-block screens to free her up under there.
Great timing on the double team from Lakewood, forced an errant shot from Parma, and they're able to regain possession. Nice composure by McCullough. That pass ends up to Doran. Hudak, nice rip through there. Good fundamentals by the Ranger there to really work off 2 feet. And a nice back cut there. The reverse layup for Hudak is good. And Sam Hudak is on fire right now in the first quarter. She's up to 8 points for the Rangers.
I really think she's kind of ascended to taking that leadership role on this team. When the bucket is needed, she'll be the one to take the shot.
Certainly will, as she had 11 points against Lutheran East the other night. She had 20 against Padua in the first win of the season, and she's really come into her own for the Rangers.
She really has.
And she's kind of doing a nice job, not replacing, right, but just being able to, be somebody who can slash to the basket, finish, but her jumper's coming along, as we've said. She's really been working on that. You lose somebody like Gianna McCullough, who was so good at getting into the paint, finding opportunities for herself and others.
Right.
That's just what happens in a program that does a nice job coaching their players all the way up the ranks. Somebody's ready to come in and step up. As the first free throw by Carroll is good, and Lakewood will extend their lead 12-2. Want to give a big shout out to Malachi and Corey, who are joining us on the YouTube channel today, watching Lakewood take on Parma here on the Lakewood Sports Channel, brought to you by First Federal of Lakewood. That one will be waved off. It looked like somebody entered the lane a little too early. Carroll will check out, and Garcia will check in.
Looked like McCullough stepped in just a fraction early.
Unfortunate miscue there from the Rangers, who haven't had many in this first quarter. Take underneath. That ball is bounced out. Basinger thought she had somebody open in the post there, just a miscommunication.
Yeah, she was looking for Levy in there again,
Looks like Parma scrambling to get in the press. Lakewood does a nice job to center the ball, and they're moving it around. McCullough passed it to a spot before Garcia could get there. Luckily, Lakewood will keep possession. Want to give a big shout out to First Federal of Lakewood for sponsoring the channel. First Federal of Lakewood is a proud sponsor of Lakewood High School and is rooted in all the communities they serve. As Lakewood misses the bunny there, and Parma will take it the other way. Nice push by Parks here. She gets through a couple Rangers. Into the corner, finds an open Kern for 3, no good.
That was a great inbounds play there by Coach Work, and McCullough's got to knock those down, man. She's got really good hands around the rim.
Absolutely.
So that's a surprising miss in my mind.
Nice spin there by Garcia, and the left-handed layup is nothing but net.
The sophomore's crafty. That was a nice drop set and using her offhand.
And no hesitation there. Sometimes you got to gather yourself in the post, make sure you're where you want to be. But no, Garcia knew where she was. She was in her spot, and she had her move picked out. As hounding defense by Doran will turn over Juliana Kern, and Lakewood will retain possession. As good of a quarter as we've seen from the Rangers this year so far.
Hey, Nettie Doran, we talked about her athleticism in the last game, and I think that that's why she's getting minutes out here. Her athleticism, her tenaciousness on defense. You're gonna see some good things out of her.
Yeah, well, we've seen some tenacity from the Rangers starting off this game, a 14-2 advantage, and certainly they've been doing it in all phases. As a dump in there, great positioning by McCullough. She was fronted in the post. Garcia threw a nice touch pass there, and McCullough had nothing but the rim in the net on the other side.
That's a classic big man move, right? They front you in the post.
Yep.
You push them up the lane, and you ask for the over the top. That's it.
The okey doke. As Henriksen takes it the other way. Lakewood trying to close out this quarter with just a minute left. Nice deflection by Parma. Looking to get something going. The Redmen need to be a little more consistent on offense. That might start with a 3. Just a nice shot there by Park. Couldn't get it to go down.
Yeah, Emily Parks looks like she could be a nice little player. So I watched her a little bit on JV, and I think that, it's nice that she's getting some minutes up here. She had a fantastic move earlier. So she had a little ball, a little bit, shoot a little bit.
Some players are like that. From my own experience coaching, there's, talking to some players, they like almost having that warm-up in the JV game to get ready for the varsity, especially if they're a swing player. And it looks like Park's coming out and giving Parma some good minutes, even playing a game before this.
Well, you know, one of their junior guards, Emma Bassinger, is out today. And so I'm sure that with her being out, Parks probably had to slide up and take some of that time. So, yeah.
Absolutely. As Henriksen missed the first and knocks down the second, as certainly a first quarter to remember for the Rangers, who lead 17-2 out of the gate. Good crowd here at Lakewood High School on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Should be a great day in Lakewood. You got the Rangers playing tonight. Playing today. You got Light Up Lakewood tonight. Everybody should be out in full force in the community today as Lakewood turns that one over off the steal. Park's going to take a step back three. That one no good. Nice effort there by Levy underneath, and they found DiNardo underneath. Layup no good, and Lakewood fortunate that that one didn't go because Parma was all over.
Lakewood did a lot of standing around on that one there. You know, got to be aggressive and go after the ball for sure.
Clock winding down, and that one ends up in Parma. Another turnover by Lakewood, and a ill-advised foul at half court there by Hudak as she got charged. Did they assign the foul to Hudak there? It looks like they will, and a sideline out of bounds with 1.3 left. Just kind of got to let the Parma player go there, and you're not trying to do too much with the clock wind down. It won't hurt the Rangers as they close out a first quarter where they saw themselves take a 17-2 advantage. Really nice job by the Rangers to execute the game plan there early and often, as we want to thank all of you tuning in to the Lakewood Sports Channel this afternoon. And we want to give a big shout out to our sponsors at Newcastle Roofing and Harrington Moving. Newcastle Roofing is owned and operated by LHS physics teacher Dave Hilly, and they specialize in roofing. They specialize in remodeling, gutters, siding, windows, doors, masonry, skylights, and commercial flat roofs. Call Newcastle for a free quote at 440-930-2399 as Lakewood will get back out on the court here, and we are really glad you're joining us on the Lakewood Sports Channel. Some really good things we saw from the Rangers in that first quarter as they put out Doran, Garcia, Hudak, Pilgrim, and Carroll to try to keep this 15-point advantage.
Yeah, very good stuff. This is the start you want, right? I mean, get out early. You know, just keep the pressure up for this first half, see where it takes you.
Certainly taking them to great places as this game tips off. Nice cut by Carroll. A great find by Doran, and Lakewood is firing on all cylinders. They open a 19-2 advantage.
Yeah, Parma's got to get some, I really do think they got to get the ball into Levy a little bit, see what they can establish in there. As you can see, they're having a little trouble on the perimeter dealing with Lakewood's pressure.
A nice job there by DiNardo to operate off no feet and be able to find a Parma Redmond as the bank shot no good. But there's Levy underneath. Nice offensive rebound, no good on the putback. And Garcia will corral it and push it for the Lakewood Rangers. Hudak will set up the offense here. Nice duck in underneath. Garcia couldn't get the first one to go, but her offensive rebound and putback is true. 21-2.
Nice look in by Dorn. Great cut.
That's two really nice passes by Doran to open up the second quarter.
Oh, yeah.
That shot out of bounds, and Lakewood is all over Parma to start this one.
Yeah, the guard play. We said the guard play was going to be a little rough for Parma, and I think that the pressure that they're seeing out on the perimeter, even in the half-court set, is really disruptive for Parma.
Certainly looking for some answers as Coach Caldwell will go to the bench here, and Paige Rarica will check in for the first time today. So rebound brought down by Parma. They'll look to get something going.
Saw Parma throw a little different look, 2-3 zone there.
Certainly Lakewood getting a lot of shots at the rim so far. Haven't had many shots from deep as Pilgrim breaks out above the crowd. Nice hustle there by Parma to get back on defense, and it was the captain, Juliana Kern, affecting that shot and pulling down the rebound. Yep. Parma will need a few of those, just the ability to get in the right positioning, as a blocking foul will be assessed to Lakewood here. As Donardo will check out. Like we said, Rurika going to see her first action of the game, as we have Kaylee Yeager out there. We have Abby Basinger. Inbounding the ball will be Juliana Kern. Alyssa Levy gets that one ducked in underneath. A three-pointer will be put up by Parma, and bank shot is in as Juliana Kern, the captain, ends the scoring drought for Parma. And now it's a 21-5 game. And Parma able to get into some pressure there, as a blocking foul will be assessed to Rurika. But, maybe that would help. Obviously making shots is going to help, but it slows the offense down for Lakewood on the other end.
Absolutely. And hey, listen, this can't all be on Levy, right? I mean, she's going to need Kern. She's going to need Basinger to get involved here and
certainly
help, and that's a big shot for them.
Pilgrim with a nice rip through there as Carroll operates down low. She finds Garcia wide open from the long two-point range there, as the rebound went to Pilgrim, and that shot was
nice,
fouled.
That was nice hustle by Pilgrim there to come up with that ball. I think she surprised Parma a little bit with her presence there.
Certainly surprised Parma there, as we'll have a couple substitutions for Lakewood and Parma alike coming up here. Pilgrim's first free throw is in and good, as number 32, Katie Yeager, will check in. And number 21, Lucy Henriksen, into the game.
Hey, the sophomore, huh? Good to see the younger Henriksen.
The younger Henriksen. I'll try to keep it all straight here on the Lakewood Sports Channel. Mike Harper, Grant Graves, and Danny Arth behind the camera with you this afternoon from Lakewood High School, as Pilgrim knocks down both and extends Lakewood's lead to 23-5. Nice pass underneath there. Levy turns it over, but a really nice look in as Henriksen finds Garcia, and Lakewood will get into it. Nice rip through by Carroll. She's going to look to penetrate, as Hudak thought about a jumper. Thought better of it, and a nice driving layup just rims out, but she was able to get her own rebound. Kind of surprised Henriksen with the pass, but Henriksen, no surprise, she knocks it down from three.
Well, we've talked about older sister. We know she can shoot. Younger sister can shoot as well.
It's nice when you grow up with a rebounding partner, because it's a lot easier to get some shots up in the backyard, and certainly the Henriksen sisters can fill it up from three, as we see Lucy Henriksen knocking down her first three-pointer of the year for varsity. That was a great shot.
Now we get to see both Henriksen sisters maybe on the court together, huh?
Jackie Hudak will come in, Aya McCullough, and Henriksen as well. Coincidentally, all three subs have or do have sisters in this program, so it's a family affair for the purple and gold. Carroll, another offensive rebound, no good, but there's Hudak. Can't get the rebound to go, but it's the Rangers again pulling down an offensive rebound.
Yeah, Rangers are just so much quicker. If you can see they're just so much quicker and more active than Parma at this point.
And that's four
beating them to a lot of loose
rebounds
balls
in a row.
Yeah.
As Lakewood, you give them that many opportunities, they are going to knock one of those down, as Hudak had hers halfway down, but it rims out.
Yeah, getting all the 50-50 balls, right?
Certainly a nice job by Parma to finally pull down that rebound. Eureka's shot no good, but a nice look for Parma as they try to get back into this one. Carroll with the weave action there. Henriksen going to put up another one, and that one is good. Three-pointer for Lucy Henriksen, and the Rangers are starting to open it up from the perimeter.
Oh, yeah. That's good stuff.
And I don't think anybody on that Lakewood bench is surprised that Lucy Henriksen's able to knock down a few quick shots, because, in talking with the coaching staff, she is a really hard worker at practice and loves to get in the gym and work on her game. As a nice shot there by Abby Basinger, the sophomore captain, knocks it in.
Oh, absolutely. When she was going into her 8th grade year, we brought her up to play over the summer with some of our summer league stuff, and she played with the JV just fine, man. As a matter of fact, a couple games stole the show, so she was no stranger to playing with older kids.
No, and she looks like she's fitting in right away here.
Oh, absolutely.
I think the pass she received from Hudak was a little firm, but, a soft touch on the shot and able to get that one to go down. Hey,
listen, man, you got to be ready when those Hudak twins are out there. They fire
Everybody's
that ball.
got to play at a certain speed,
Keep
and
your hands
make
up.
sure they're ready to go, as we are Glad you're joining us this afternoon on the Lakewood Sports Channel. Lakewood in the driver's seat with this one, 29-7. And hey, if you need a moving company in the driving seat for your next move, call our friends at Harrington Moving. Around the corner or across the country, you can count on Harrington Moving to get you there. They offer packing, unpacking, movage, and storage services, and they are proudly veteran-owned. Visit harringtonmoving.us to book your next move today. Pulled down by Garcia underneath, and that was an opportunity there for Parma to get a one-shot stop and a rebound. But fundamentally, Parma player reached with one hand instead of two. That's the difference because Garcia was able to get the jump ball there.
Absolutely.
Nice two-handed rebound that time by number 10, Kaylee Yeager. And a jump ball will keep the ball with the Redmen.
Yeah. You know, you're right. It's fundamentals, too. You got to make sure, especially when a team is faster than you or maybe bigger than you got to make sure that the fundamentals of boxing out are there, right?
Correct. And there's got to be something said, I think, on the Rangers side of things. We've seen such a quick start as the steal by Hudak will give the Rangers the ball back. I.e. Miley Henriksen will travel in the corner there. But, I mean, you play the Lutheran East, and you may not be ready that night for that type of speed, but that's why you face those teams at the beginning of the year sometimes, so your team can get comfortable as much as they can against a team of speed, because it looks like the Rangers are playing at a different speed than Parma today, and that's because they were tested really by Lutheran East as Jackie Hudak gets the layup to go.
Yeah. I think you see that was twice in a row where Jackie Hudak stripped DiNardo. Right. Having a little trouble with that pressure out on the perimeter.
Sure.
And it's tough. Like I said, DiNardo, I think this is DiNardo's first year of varsity. Right. We always talk about that leap from level to level, right? That you're seeing speed you haven't seen before.
Sure.
You're seeing skill you haven't seen before. So
absolutely.
It takes a little time.
But but certainly, you know, her teammates appreciate the effort, because when you have players out, and Lakewood knows this, is familiar with this as well after going through a couple of abnormal years here, it's got to be next player up. They got to be ready to step up, and everybody's pulling in the same direction and really trying to make sure that, you know, the roles are communicated and the execution's there.
Right, no doubt about it.
Yeah, second free throw. Whoa, a couple leaners there. They're going to let DiNardo get that one up. Lane violation on Garcia. It looked like an old Three Stooges skits there as they were trying not to fall into the lane there on their tiptoes, as DiNardo will get a second chance at it. That one no good. McCullough pulls it down, and Lakewood will get into the offense here, up 31-8. Got a great week of Lakewood basketball coming up for both the Rangers squads, boys and girls, as Delaney Garcia with a great layup there, extending Lakewood's lead. Boys team will be heading down to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse this week to take on Medina. What an experience that will be.
Get to play on the big floor, huh?
Big floor is right. They better have the water ready for our boys team in purple and gold.
That was a lot of contact there. I'm surprised no call.
Henriksen, a nice strong take there.
Yeah.
Refs saw it as incidental contact, and Hudak almost had her third strip on DiNardo, but a little too physical fighting for the ball. It'll be Doran checking in for Garcia, it looks like. And for Parma, DiNardo will sit down, and number 32, Katie Yeager, will check in. Jackie hounding the ball. It doesn't matter who it is for Parma. They're in the Jackie Hudak torture chamber.
Yeah, just, you know, she got a little over-aggressive on that last possession, but, man, how can you call her off when she's wreaking that much havoc out there?
Absolutely. Great hustle by Parma, and it gets number 3, Juliana Kern. A nice bank shot there. Doran's layup no good. And Parma will come back the other way.
A little too wide open right there.
A little too wide open right
there. Yep.
As a three-pointer will be launched from the outside. That one off the back iron. And corralled again. Another offensive rebound for Parma. They get it down to Levy down low. Gets it off. That layup no good, and Lakewood will push it the other way. A couple of really nice defensive possessions by Aya McCullough. Fundamentally, too, she's just going straight up, keeping her positioning.
For sure.
And has limited some of Parma's attack down the paint. That layup no good.
No good, but that's it. I mean, you want to get her around the rim. Like I said, she has really good hands on both sides.
Nice
too.
ball fake by Rurika there. The layup no good, but quite a fake.
It was.
To
Great
get
play.
the Ranger defender to go by her as a tie up here. And it looks like
and it's just tough.
we have a foul.
Yeah, it's just tough when you're 23 down, man. You need those.
Right, right. The margin for error shrinks
doesn't
rapidly.
it?
A good showing in the first half by the Rangers in this opening GLC East matchup, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in the GLC East this year. Valley Forge has looked strong early on this year. Normandy, always tough. Normandy came in here and was very impressive last year. They'll have Buckeye to contend with, Parma, and Holy Name as well. That one tiptoeing around and be able to be saved by Abby Basinger, and they'll find Levy.
It's good hustle by Parma there.
Really nice hustle as a save just gone awry there as a toe just over the out-of-bounds line. And boy, if you're Lakewood, if you're Parma, if you're any of the teams in the GLC East, you kind of, when they did the conference alignment, you kind of had to smile because the West, I got to believe, is one of the tougher basketball divisions in the state of Ohio.
Yeah, it's got River and EC.
Bay
Village, gonna be there. That's gonna be
mean, those. Yeah, you put that is quite the crew. Westlake, we didn't even mention Westlake, who had a fantastic year.
Yeah,
last
you're absolutely
year.
right. You're absolutely right.
So,
and them just joining.
Right.
Them in North. Them in North Olmsted, right? Just joining the conference.
Yes. It'll be a tough season and some really nice basketball to be played in the Great Lakes Conference. As some nice basketball played by the Rangers in the first half as they opened up a 33-10 halftime lead, and really good play in transition, finishing at the rim, cutting, passing, pressuring. Lakewood really came out of the gate and put themselves in a nice position here as 16 minutes have elapsed in this one.
Yeah, Coach. I tell you, man, it's a really nice start by Lakewood. It'll be interesting to see what they do in the second half. They try to run through more of their sets. We said it in the beginning, right? Coach Caldwell told me he had 2 starters transfer on him. He lost two seniors last year. That one a senior point guard, and the other one, she did everything for them in DeJesus. And so I think when you're getting a bunch of sophomores and juniors now in the mix who haven't had any varsity time really. It's a learning curve. So
and we saw some of the same thing from Lakewood last year.
For sure.
But if you're Coach Caldwell, you got to be encouraged seeing Lakewood come out this year, because Lakewood is a good story about what it takes to develop young players and get them ready for the varsity level. It may be a bumpy ride at times, but it will sure pay off. As we are really glad you were able to join us today on the Lakewood Sports Channel for the first half. We'll be back with the second half action presented by First Federal of Lakewood after the break. All right, we have our fan of the game here today. It is 9th grader Michael Burke. Mike, thanks for joining me as our Lakewood Sports Channel fan of the game presented by First Federal of Lakewood. I appreciate you coming on the broadcast with me today.
Thank you for bringing me on.
So, Mike, what did you think of the first half?
I think we played good. I think we played with good intensity. I think at the end of the third, we had some good aggressive stops.
Yeah.
And I think we can keep that going.
Now, you know a thing or two about Lakewood basketball because you are on the freshman basketball team this year. How's that going?
Good. We played some really good teams at the beginning, and unfortunately we're 0-2. But I think we're gonna come back and do better.
Now, can I ask you a few questions about the freshman basketball team?
Yeah.
Best rebounder.
Best rebounder. I'm gonna go with somebody that's like aggressive and big. Stevie.
Stevie?
Yeah.
Okay. Best shooter.
Shooter. Lucas.
Lucas?
Yeah.
Best hype man.
Hype man, me. Me for sure.
Best social media content.
Me.
Best shoe game.
Shoe game, Luke.
Luke
Bonavasuto. Yeah.
Luke Bonavasuto's got some good shoe game.
Yeah.
All right, and who's got the best hairstyle on the team?
Hairstyle. Stevie and Isaiah.
Steve and Isaiah. Now,
Girls.
Mike, you've been a Lakewood girls basketball super fan from the time that. When did you start coming to games?
Well, I started going when my older brother, actually my older sister, became a freshman because she came to the games, and I really loved basketball. So.
And
I
you
love
were
the game.
known for your distraction techniques behind the opposing hoop during free throws. I got to believe that shooters at the free throw line shot well under 50% when you were distracting them during your career behind the hoop. Now, the varsity team's going to go down to Rockenberger's Fieldhouse this week with Medina. What's your prediction for that game?
I think Lakewood's going to come out and be aggressive. I think we're going to play good. I think we're going to knock down some shots. And I think Lakewood's going to take home that. I think Lakewood's going to take home that W.
Really?
Yes.
Can I say that's a Michael Burke guarantee on the Lakewood Sports Channel?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And, Mike, well, thanks for coming on with us today.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. Our fan of the game. Why don't you give a big sign-off to all the Lakewood faithful watching at home?
Go Lakewood. Thank you. And bye.
Thank you very much, young man. You are impressive on the mic. I think you got a future as a sports journalist without a doubt. All right, buddy. Thank you so much for joining us on the Lakewood Sports Channel as we get you ready for the second half. Mike's going to take off. We're going to get Coach Harper back in the booth here as Lakewood led at the end of the second quarter. They were leading 33-10, and that's where we will pick up on the second half here on the Lakewood Sports Channel. Good to get the youth involved. Coach Harper.
Oh, yeah.
Mike had a lot to say. I told him. So Mike was a super fan while you were coaching, and him and I were laughing about that because I think career opponent free throw percentage when Michael Burke was going nuts behind the hoop for the Rangers during your time as a fan, it had to be under 50%.
Oh, absolutely. but you know, so the Michael Burke is one half of the Burke twins.
Absolutely.
He's got a twin brother, and them as little kids showing up at varsity basketball games used to.
It was one of my favorite things to watch.
They're quite the characters.
They are.
Love the Burke family though. John and Tracy Burke, they got some great kids, man.
So if John and Tracy, you see this, Michael was an upstanding professional during his interview as fan of the game on the Lakewood Sports Channel. As Lakewood and Parma will open it back up here in the second half, and Coach Harper, Lakewood did a couple things really well that quarter. What's one thing that stood out to you that Lakewood did to get this 23-point advantage?
Well, I thought the pressure would have to maybe be extended to really bother Parma.
Sure.
But it seems like they were able to get pressure in the half court and really not
that
let
came
Parma
by way
get
of,
into any of their offensive
and
sets.
it wasn't so much double teaming and trapping and being intricate. It was more just Jackie Hudak saying nobody's getting by.
It was that one-on-one
Right.
in your shirt defense, and that pressure is tough, you know.
Absolutely, as Hudak will hound to Nardo here, and Parma will look to move it around. Garcia got her hands in the passing lane, and Lakewood will regain possession, leading 33-10 here on the Lakewood Sports Channel. Ball's being moved around. Pilgrim finds herself open, and a bobble of the ball will lead to a travel. And Lakewood, as Coach Work does her best jump stop, on the sideline there. Coaching point in the midst of this one.
Yep, got to catch the ball first, all right, before we get on the move.
Yes, we've been talking a lot with Coach Gamock about playing off 2 feet in the recent weeks with the boys team, and like we talked about with Mike on the broadcast. They'll be going down to Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse this week to play Medina. And boy, if you're a Lakewood basketball fan, you've seen the Rangers take on St. Edwards. You've seen them take on Brush, and now Medina. Those are three of the best programs in the area, and certainly it's been a challenge for them. But boy, if they can really turn things around against Medina, and do some good things there, it'll set them up well for conference play.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I mean, these things aren't always about the games you're playing. It's
Sure.
about the preparation down the road, right?
Absolutely,
So,
and Lakewood will certainly be better for it down the road as Delaney Garcia kept at it underneath the hoop there and got the putback to go. Lakewood has been all over the offensive rebounding team.
There's Delaney Garcia again. I'm telling you, on the board, she is one of the best I've seen at that nose for the ball.
Just in terms of almost like a Kevin Love in some respects, because it's not so much even though she is very athletic, right? It's not so much her athleticism, but it's the positioning down low and being able to read the ball off the rim. That gets her so many of those chances underneath, as that jump shot no good. Kind of makes me think about the Dennis Rodman documentary, right? What he was talking about, studying how the ball comes off the rim, and that's maybe even more than half the battle as a rebounder, is being able to read where the shot's going to be.
It helps to be a freakish athlete like Dennis Rodman, and you can get off your feet that quick. But you're right. I mean, it is an art form, and a bit of a science to it as well, right?
Absolutely. As Parma will try to get this one going, trailing 35-10 here at Lakewood High School and on the Lakewood Sports Channel. We're so glad you're joining us this Saturday afternoon and taking in this good one from the Rangers. A really good performance by Lakewood so far this afternoon. That one has been deflected and will go out of bounds.
Yeah, it just seems like every time Parma gets stuck, they might get a dribble or two, and then they're getting stuck on the perimeter, and then the Rangers are covering them up the passing lane so well. It's hard to go anywhere with the ball.
Absolutely. As Lakewood, you would think, would have some issues today too with no Sydney Hampton, but what's been nice to see is Lakewood's been able to get some people the opportunity of running the offense, handling the ball, which will pay off for them when Hampton's able to come back, because you're just gaining some experience in this game that people normally wouldn't be in the role to do.
Absolutely.
Hudak launches from three. No good. There's Pilgrim again, really jumping up and getting that one. The Lakewood Rangers volleyball player able to use her athleticism, and Garcia pulls down 2 offensive rebounds in a row, and Lakewood will regain possession. That one no good, but now it is Hudak pulling down an offensive rebound. The Rangers are a menace on the glass. That one no good, and finally Levy will pull it down. She was fouled by Carroll from behind, but
a little bit of a reach there. I tell you,
felt like Lakewood was flying in everywhere there.
That's like we talked about earlier. When you got a team that's a little faster, a little more athletic than you gotta pay attention to the boxing out fundamentals.
Absolutely.
You're just not gonna be able to beat them to basketballs. All the 50-50 balls are gonna go to them, right?
Absolutely, and in the sense that it's a team effort too. They're not all watching when a shot goes up and be like, well, Garcia's down there, right? It's certainly nice to see even the guards getting some offensive boards, as a moment of openness was closed quickly by the Rangers. Basinger had an opportunity, but it'll be Lakewood coming back for more. Nice pick there set by Garcia. Hudak will work it.
It's nice to see the comfort of a Garcia being able to bring the ball up.
Absolutely.
I think
nice and one by Carroll there down low, and that was all started on the break, like Coach Harper said. Garcia pushing it on the break.
She when she was in our youth travel program back in 5th grade, she was the tallest kid in the 5th grade, but she was also the point guard too. so she has those skills,
Right.
And as she's grown up and gotten even taller, she's no stranger to having the ball out on the perimeter,
Well, that speaks to, having a youth program that allows students to develop, as we do here in Lakewood with the Lakewood Travel Basketball League. Has really developed some players throughout the years and allowed them to blossom and be ready to play varsity basketball when the time comes. We can't thank our hardworking youth coaches and high school coaches that have poured so much blood, sweat, and tears into the youth program, to which there are many.
There are. A lot of good coaches, a lot of good parents.
Absolutely, and we are so thankful that you are joining us on the Lakewood Sports Channel today. It's a good crowd out here at Lakewood High School, as Lakewood in the driver's seat up 27 on Parma. Lakewood 37, Parma 10. Hudak found herself open. That one off the backboard, no good. Parma with a one-shot stop there as Park will take it the other way.
See Bassinger about ready to check back in, number 4. We'll see if she can add a spark for the Redmen here.
Well, it will certainly be needed here as Lakewood is contending with some pressure now from Parma. McCullough working it around the perimeter. Nice ball fake there, and it appeared that number 10, Kaylee Yeager, was wrapped around Carroll, and that one will result in a baseline out of bounds. More subs coming in for the Rangers as Doran checks in, and like Coach Harper said, Basinger will check in after this timeout, presented by First Federal of Lakewood. And like we said already today on the show, we're so happy that First Federal is supporting the Lakewood Sports Channel, so we're able to bring these great Lakewood athletic contests to all of you. First Federal of Lakewood is a proud sponsor of Lakewood High School and is rooted in all the communities they serve. First Federal has supported the personal and business banking needs of its customers since 1935. Visit ffl.net to learn more. 37-10, the Rangers have opened up their lead, and as we look down the line for Lakewood, this will hopefully spur Lakewood in the right direction after two tough games against Rocky River. This will certainly be a game that Lakewood wants to, win and move on from, and hopefully start some good momentum for the rest of the season.
Yeah, my hat's off to Coach Work for taking on a Lutheran East, playing on the other side of the bracket of River. I mean, you got to do that kind of thing, especially if you got a team that you think can, contend.
Yes.
You want to make sure that they're a little battle-hardened, right?
Absolutely, as they will get on the road for 3 away contests after a little bit of a homestand here. They'll travel to Cleveland Heights, Buckeye, and Normandy before returning home on Saturday the 18th. And those will be 3 tough games. I think they'll be played at a couple different speeds. Cleveland Heights, a team that they haven't played normally in the past. I don't believe you played Cleveland Heights in your time as coach.
Actually, we did early. Very early. They had a holiday tournament that we were in the first 2 years. So
they run some great tournaments out there at Cleveland Heights. We were able to go broadcast a game out there for the boys' playoffs last year.
Yeah.
And that was an excellent atmosphere they have at Cleveland Heights. Buckeye will be a tough game. They had a battle with Lakewood last year, and that'll be pivotal, in my opinion, for the conference. And then you end that 3-game road trip with Normandy as a nice pass by Doran underneath. She has really been able to share the ball nicely today. Her 3rd assist on the evening, and that one was a nice slash and a dump off to McCullough, who was waiting underneath.
Oh.
Really great take by Emily Parks there as she got all the way in, and despite good defense from McCullough, was able to finish over.
I tell you what, I like this Parks. She's got a little spark plug. I saw her in the JV game, and I thought to myself, like, how is this girl not playing varsity basketball?
Sure, absolutely.
And so it's good to see. And, sometimes it's a little bit about maturing, or, your kid just comes into your program. But
well, it depends on the numbers on the other end of the program, too, is sometimes you got to have, sometimes you have to have juniors help out.
For sure.
There, which is, it's a great experience to be able to have a JV program, a freshman program. Very fortunate with the numbers on both sides of these programs to get kids the experience playing in the GLC.
But she's come in and given Coach Caldwell a spark, and that's a good thing.
Absolutely, as a travel will be assessed there. Nice defense again from Aya McCullough. Yeah. She has really done a nice job of having good legal defensive positioning today. It's been a nice showing from Lakewood's post players on their defense.
I was about to
today.
say her and Garcia both. They've done a really good job there. And the other thing, too, is that once things are stopped up, they're just covering the passing line so well.
Absolutely, as Lakewood has jumped out to now a 39-12 lead with just 3 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Coach Mike Harper, Grant Graves, along with you on the Lakewood Sports Channel. We got Danny Arth on the camera today, bringing you all the action from Lakewood High School.
Yeah.
Looks like Parks will check out now.
Bassinger just got caught there, ready to pass the ball, but then there was no pass.
Doran was left wide open there, and another nice pass. McCullough comes down with it, and that layup is good. And Doran looking like a young Diana Taurasi out here, the way she's been able to distribute the ball.
She's dealing, huh?
as it looked like some contact down there. DiNardo not happy.
Here we go, Sophia Zarbo getting some playing time in here.
Absolutely,
another sophomore.
A couple of sophomores have shown some good minutes today. As Jackie Hudak, the junior, jump stopping in off the glass. But really good to see, yes, the Rangers be able to get into their bench today. You knew they were going to have to with Hampton out, but to get a couple sophomores in there, to see Lucy Hendrickson knock down a few shots. We'll get to see Zarbo in here playing some good minutes. It was a great JV game. The girls played well. Coach Matt Coker had them playing fierce, had them playing hard, and they're able to get some experience here at varsity, which will pay off big time.
And the freshman game before that, too.
Absolutely.
Another good big win.
Yep. It has been a good day to wear purple and gold here at Lakewood High School. As like we said, Lakewood's going to get on the road after this one at Cleveland Heights, at Buckeye, at Normandy, and ending that road trip on Normandy. If Lakewood can keep playing like this, that is going to have huge implications for the GLC East. As a big game happening in the GLC West this afternoon, it's River and Elyria Catholic. That game will certainly have big implications on the GLC West.
Yeah.
Checking in Kaylee Yeager for Parma as DiNardo comes out, as Kern comes out, and for the Rangers, Lucy Hendrickson into the game, as well as.
So I think this is the first time we got 3 sophomores on the floor,
yes.
Right? Nice. These 2 classes are going to be pretty good. I think next year, as the juniors become seniors and they become juniors, I think you're going to see some pretty good depth.
Right. And you have one player out here, Garcia, who got time as a freshman last year. So, again, and you know as a coach, the more you're able to get people exposure at the varsity level, the more you're able to get more detailed with your coaching. I don't want to say advanced, but I do say you're able to work on layers of your press, layers of your offense, layers of your baseline out about stuff like that.
Absolutely. The sooner they know your terminology and what you want done, the better off you're going to be. And I just think not only that, but I think the skill level is really going to be good in these 2 classes. And I just think next year you could really see them do some good things. I mean, it's hard, especially on the girls basketball side. If you have 3 in a class, you're doing pretty good. 4, 5, or even 6, man, that's to have them all the way until they're seniors.
Yes,
that's phenomenal.
And it said something about the ability to sharpen one another at practice when you have that depth, because it just makes practice more competitive, which in turn makes the learning of the system and the learning how to handle the speed at this level. It just makes it a lot more accessible for players when practices are really run hard.
For sure. But this junior class has 6 kids that should be in the lineup in the rotation next year. And then you back them up with 3 or 4 or even maybe 5 will be juniors then. I mean, if you could run 10 deep in a varsity girls game, you're doing some things.
Fantastic job by Coach working with this group, the coaching staff. Coach Battaglia, Coach Coker, Coach Cunningham, and Coach Grosso this year. A three-level program win would certainly be a good Saturday for Lakewood as we have 1 quarter remaining here at Lakewood High. It's 43-12 as Lakewood holds a commanding lead over Parma. And folks, we want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, Newcastle Roofing, who is sponsoring Lakewood Sports Channel in our 2nd season. It's been great to have the support of Newcastle Roofing, owned by LHS physics teacher Dave Hilly.
Mr. Hilly, love him.
Absolutely. and man, can Newcastle really help you out? They specialize in residential roofing and repairs, gutters, siding, windows, doors, masonry, skylights, and commercial flat roofs. Call Newcastle for a free quote at 440-930-2399. And Lakewood has certainly done a nice job today through 3 quarters. 43 points. The scoring's dropped off a little bit.
Well, but they held Parma to, I think, to 2 points in that 3rd quarter.
Yes, okay, the play-by-play guy's looking at the fireworks. He's looking at the ball going in the hoop, and the former head coach of the Lakewood girls basketball program is looking at the defensive box score. Such is life, Coach Harper. Such is life. As it Zarbo will inbound from the side here. Hudak back in the game. That's Sam. Annette Doran in there as well. Lucy Hendrickson setting the screen. And Doran with a nice driving layup there. It looked like she was going to get caught behind the backboard. So
I was waiting
really
for her to
nice.
make another pass there.
Right. We have seen some marvelous passing from Doran today. But
sure.
that layup was very well done as Parma rattles one home. DiNardo able to get to the cup. Hudak gets it down to Doran once again. Gets that one over there. Garcia working it around. Lakewood will find their good opportunity as Henriksen had a good look at it. But a strong rebound by DiNardo will break out Parma the other way. DiNardo with a nice move down low and 2 layups in a row. Closes the deficit. 45-16. Oh, Garcia high off the glass, and that one was able to fall in. Man, what a tough finish.
Just great hands. And that's our offhand, too. Good stuff.
Fantastic skill from the sophomore. As number 10, Kaylee Yeager, will check in for Parma. It'll be DiNardo sitting down. Out there for the Rangers right now, we have Lucy Hendrickson, Sam Hudak, Annette Doran, Delaney Garcia, and Sophia Zarbo. And for Parma, we have number 32, Katie Yeager, number 10, Kaylee Yeager, Abby Basinger on the drive, and she was fouled there. Number 3 is in the game, Juliana Kern, the captain, and number 3, Alyssa Levy. And if you're Lakewood, you got to be happy with keeping Levy in check. She came into the game averaging about 17 points per game and shooting 64% from the field. They have really made life difficult for Parma on offense today as the first free throw up and good.
Well, she ran into 2 capable bigs today, in Ava Carroll and Delaney Garcia. That's a tough tandem there.
It certainly is, as the second free throw no good. Pulled down by Garcia, who has had a heck of a game on the boards today. That ball worked around Zarbo in the corner. What a bounce pass into Garcia, who puts it up, no good. But, man, really good duck in there by Zarbo.
Really good.
Good technique. Basinger just lost the handle on that one as Abby will turn that one back over as DiNardo checks back in.
Graves, post feeding is an art, buddy.
It certainly is.
I remember we had a string of bigs come through here, and we had guard play that was tough at times to get them the ball. And
absolutely,
it's like, hey,
and that's an easy one for fans. Well, why don't you just dump it down low, right? That's
right.
a common refrain.
Yeah.
But it's a lot harder than it looks because you got one hand in your face. You have usually some good defensive positioning in the post, so there's only a slim window to get that ball down.
For sure.
Got to use ball fakes. Got to use the bounce pass.
You do, and a good guard can feed it with both hands. Absolutely.
As that one out of bounds, and Parma will regain possession, trailing 47-17. Ball worked down to Levy. She's working against Garcia. Nice crossover by Levy, who puts it up and in, and you can see why the junior is averaging 16 points a game. What a great move. To be able to cross over that close to the hoop and finish under Garcia is no easy task, as Hudak's layup just a little too strong, but a tie-up underneath will keep the ball with Parma. Molly going to share the floor with Lucy now, as both Henriksen sisters are out there.
Yes, they are. I was wondering if we want to see a little bit of that this year. It's good stuff.
It's great to see. This is what it's all about here at Lakewood High School and Lakewood Athletics, is being able to have these experiences and such a tight-knit community, so it's good to see when players are able to get in together and share that experience
for sure
together. As Aya McCullough will check in for Delaney Garcia. Garcia really helped herself in the rebounding category this year. We'll see her averages really peak up as she was dominant on the defensive and mainly the offensive boards today. Zarbo handling the pressure nicely there as she finds McCullough, and now the Rangers will work it around. Finds Doran, who puts up the three, and that one is good. Nothing but net. Oh, boy. Lakewood certainly encouraged by the elements that Annette Doran has brought to the floor today. Passing, shooting, finishing. She's done it all.
She's coming to her own today, buddy. I know about the defense and the hustle, but I didn't know about the offensive prowess.
Fantastic.
Looks really good. Really,
and that was,
really
it came off a screen, catch and shoot. That's one of the toughest shots
didn't hesitate
to knock down. And boy, did that ball not even get close to the cylinder.
Great shot. Fantastic.
50-19 we have right now with just 5 minutes remaining here. Just a little bit of pressure from Parma. As Zofia Sarbo says, that's all right, I'll take it all the way. Tough layup doesn't go. As Basinger will take it the other way now. She's cut off at the baseline by Doran, and that pressure is going to see that one thrown away. And Lakewood will regain possession with Molly and Lucy Henriksen, Annette Doran, Sophia Zarbo, and Aya McCullough out there. Nice job there to get the ball inbounded amongst some pressure from Parma.
Yes, sir.
Lakewood Sports Channel will be off for a couple of days before we bring you Normandy and Lakewood, a pivotal GLC East contest. It'll be the first for Coach Camock's Rangers after they play on Wednesday afternoon, at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. Don't miss Lakewood and Normandy on the Lakewood Sports Channel, as Levy down low didn't miss that one. And the junior with two nice layups in this quarter as that ball was thrown away into the waiting arms of number 10, Kaylee Yeager. And a bank shot is good by Basinger, and all of a sudden the Parma offense coming to life in the fourth quarter.
That's good stuff.
A little bit of pressure making Lakewood make some questionable decisions with the ball. Good on Parma to keep playing hard here in the fourth quarter.
For sure. Now you see Parma throw a little 2-3 zone out at him.
Yep, and with a young lineup, you can see how that is going to make for an adjustment. There's going to be an adjustment period, without a doubt. It's 50-23 now with just 3 minutes and 39 seconds remaining. Nice ball fake there as Parma works it around. Underneath, Kern can't finish, and Henriksen will push it. Nice take underneath. Zarbo's layup no good, as a balancing act
just a little strong
was completed there by Kern on the sideline. 50-23, the Rangers lead with just 3 minutes remaining. That one looked like to be partially blocked by Henriksen, and a foul underneath will give the ball back. Excuse me, I think Parma is going to have a baseline out of bounds play, so Coach Caldwell is going to take the opportunity to work on baseline out of bounds play.
Yeah,
30 seconds.
interesting call. I thought McCullough had the position there, but I get it.
Absolutely, as the ref's done a great job today. We can't thank our referee crews enough out here in Northeast Ohio for really doing a nice job of keeping our scholastic sports going and giving our kids the opportunity to experience high school athletics. We can't thank our refs enough for making that possible.
It's a thankless job, buddy.
Thankless is the word, but we could not be here without him, as Lakewood will run out a lineup of Henriksen, and Doran, McCullough, and Zarbo. Nice job by the Rangers today. They had a diversified attack on offense. We saw some really nice shooting from the perimeter. Lucy Henriksen, Annette Doran both knocking down outside shots today. Sam Hudak with a couple of really nice jumpers in the first quarter, but they've also been able to do some damage down low with Carroll and McCullough and mainly Garcia really doing a nice job of keeping Parma.
They pretty much did what they wanted to do today. And, you know, the nice part, too, is they got to play some people, right? Yeah, this is how you build depth over time, right? You get them in games, get them used to the flow of things, playing with each other. So it's pretty cool.
It's been a great day for the Rangers, as most of the lineup has gotten involved and really contributed nicely, as they will hit the road after this one and be at Cleveland Heights, Buckeye, and Normandy. And in your mind, Coach, what are you looking for the Rangers as they head out on a 3-game road trip? They've had now 4 games under their belt. They're going to be 2-2 after this one with wins against Padua and Parma, so they're doing good in the city of Parma. And they fell to River and Lutheran East, both teams that really did a nice job of pressuring the Rangers. So you're going to go to Cleveland Heights, you're going to go to Buckeye, you're going to go to Normandy, and if any lessons served us from last year watching Normandy, man, did they like to pressure it as well. So what can the Rangers take away from these 2 wins, and what can they learn from the 2 losses they've had this year?
Well, I think they're going to have some tough games on the road here. There's no doubt about that. But, hey, listen, they've played some tough competition. I think that they should go and welcome the challenge. My hope is that they get their full crew back. I think, Sydney Hampton is going to be important on that road trip. So, but, yeah, I want to see the team to continue to grow, and I think, under Coach Work's leadership, that's going to definitely happen.
Definitely. It will be a great, 3-game stretch to watch the Rangers and see how they are maturing and growing this year, because certainly it's been a welcome sight to see a win on their home court as this one gets into the 2-minute mark with Lakewood leading 50-25. We want to give a big shout out to everybody tuning in at home. We want to give a big shout out to First Federal of Lakewood, Newcastle Roofing, and Harrington Moving for supporting the Lakewood Sports Channel.
I tell you what, I think, we haven't even seen Molly Henderson get on yet.
Sure.
She's gonna.
And last year, that was one of the bright spots for the team, is her outside shooting really kept Lakewood in some games.
And I think she's too good of a shooter to be down longer. Sometimes you get into your senior season and they scout you, right?
I think
you're not sneaking up on anybody
Molly
anymore.
Henriksen is not sneaking up on anybody,
so,
especially after she shot 37% from 3 last year.
Yeah, and I think one of the things you can tend to be too hard on yourself, and you have expectations. I can see her out there laboring a little bit, struggling, maybe trying to force some things, but she'll be okay. She'll settle down.
Absolutely.
It'll get better. She's too good of a shooter not to.
Absolutely. Those shots will start falling for Henriksen as Parma now on the offensive glass. Working around. Levy with a nice step through. She was able to find number 5, Selena Nikella, into the game. That shot no good as Doran will pull this one out as we approach a minute remaining here. This has been a great showing by the purple and gold. They'll move to 500 on the year. Parma will fall to 1-2. And Lakewood will be in first place, at least tied for the moment, being 1-0 in the GLC East. So it's good to look at the standings and see yourself at top. You can only take it game by game, which we know Coach Work has been preaching to this team over the course of the season here. You just got to take it game by game, and they really didn't elect to take it easy on themselves with some of the scheduling this year, but it's paid off because the girls looked really, really strong out of the gates today.
Yeah, I think so. I think especially with the Lutheran East game, just to get to see a little mixture, a different kind of speed. I mean, that's a different type of team than River. River's a little bit bigger, more plotting, but very much more, fundamentally sound in how they run things. Lutheran East speed. So you see a diversity of teams, man. I think that's a really good thing.
That shot no good, and it's pulled down by Zarbo, who will have a tussle, but it was able to get it off to McCullough as the final 15 seconds will tick off here at Lakewood, and it looks like they'll just hold this one and run the clock out. Really nice performance by Lakewood, holding Parma under 30 points, but being able to score 50 themselves. They were well-rounded today, and they will move to 2-2 on the year. It was a great game all around. Lots of Lakewood players able to get in on the action, and we're glad you joined us for all of it on the Lakewood Sports Channel. For Danny Arth behind the camera, for Grant Graves on the play-by-play, Mike Harper on the commentary. Lakewood takes this one 50-27, and we will be back with you next Friday night as the Lakewood boys basketball team will welcome in Normandy for a GLC East clash. Have a great day, and go Lakewood.
Lakewood.